Hey, it's Mark Ferguson with Invest for More, and today I'm talking about the housing market. If we're starting to see some cracks in it, if things are changing, if things are drastically different than what we've seen in the past, or if things are kind of the same and nothing really going on. Now, I'm not just going to talk about this housing report from Realtor.com, which are really cool with their cool blue little highlight there with their data, but also what's going on in my world too, because I've been selling houses on flips we own, plus houses for other people as well, and I'll let you know what's been happening on our front too. All right, now I have 6-7 flips going right now, a few for sale. I had a couple of listings for other people too, which I almost never do, but I had some family who wanted to sell some properties. Nikki on my team was my project manager who helps with flips. She's also had quite a few listings as well this year. She is licensed, but doesn't do much on the real estate side except for friends, family as well. Justin is another agent in my office. He's had a few listings. Brandon, another agent in my office too, has had not as much listings, but more buyers. So I do run Blue Steel Real Estate. I'm the owner, managing broker, and mostly it's just for me and to have control of my business and what I do and not have someone else telling me what to do because I'm not very good with that situation. But we do have a few agents as well. But almost all the agents also help me out in some way. Brandon helps with property management a little bit. Justin helps with my online stuff. Lots of different things with my tech side of things because I am not very tech savvy. Nikki obviously helps with project management, all kinds of different things, office stuff. So lots of different things going on there. And we have John in our office too, who helps with front desk and transaction broker and different things. And then we're bringing another person on to help with stuff as well. So it's a nice little office. We have way too much space for what the people we have, but it's fun. All right. So I've been doing this 20 some years, so I have a pretty good idea about how real estate works. And it's funny when people say, oh, you're biased towards real estate. Yes, I'm very biased towards real estate. If you want data and you want opinions on what's going to happen, you want someone who's biased in that industry and has experience in it and knows about it. You don't want random people who have no clue what they're talking about. All right. So I mentioned I like Realtor.com because of the charts and the data they have. And so the thing that they do, and I've showed this before in the past, is they go back to 2017 all the way up to 2024 with all this data, which is so nice because what you get on a lot of different news and other channels is they say prices are down and they show you a chart, and the chart shows you from like November to December and they say prices are down. It has no context. You have no idea what happened the rest of the year. You have no idea what happened other years. You don't know if it's normal, abnormal. There's no data there that can help you decide what's going on. This gives you context for previous years and what happens almost every year to let you know if what is happening is abnormal, normal, crazy, ridiculous. It's so much better to get a bigger picture of the data than just tiny snippets here and there thrown out for fear mongering, to make you click on their channel, etc. I try not to do that. All right, so the active listing count is listings for sale right now. And you will notice it's up 26% over last year. So that's way higher than last year. And you can see 2022 is in yellow, 2023 is in pink there. They were about the same last year, above 2020, above 2021, which was crazy low, like record low inventory. So if we had seen that number and you say listings are up 26%, it's all crashing. It's done. Don't buy real estate, right? Well, you look at 2017, 18, 19, which were more normal years. That was kind of a more normal market, even with low inventory historically. It's still way below what those are. So it's not time to panic, at least not in my opinion. Are there more listings than last year? Yes. In the years before? Yes. Even 2023 was still an abnormally low listing year. You can see it compared to the other years before that. So it's not something to freak out about. Now, something that is interesting and it might indicate a small change. Every other year, except, well, no, those years didn't. So again, that's hard to say. The other years all saw a drop. You can kind of see that drop from like October, November, December. This is the November housing report. Did I say December? I meant November. December is not. This is the December report showing November data. Sorry. It is a December report, but it shows November data. So this is November October. So there we go, if I cleared that up. So you can see that, I said that wrong. This is December, this is November. We're in November right here. It says that. These years had drops. This kind of had an increase, but we had increases last year too. And really, interest rates are really messing things up. Interest rates are pretty high, mortgage rates are pretty high, and there's just a big waiting game going on. People have been waiting for rates to drop, and they've been waiting to sell, they've been waiting to buy. Not much is going on. It's a very stagnant real estate market. So I don't think it's anything to freak out about. It's just stuff isn't happening, which makes it tough on people in the industry, realtors, lenders, title companies, even home inspectors, appraisers. It's all pretty slow. So if we had this line going straight up and it's completely abnormal from everything, and we hadn't seen that the last 6-7 years, then we'd be like, oh, okay, maybe we better be careful. Maybe we better watch what's happening. Nothing really alarming going on right now. The total number of homes for sale, including homes that were under contract but not sold yet, increased by 22%. So total number of homes has increased year over year as well. Now, this chart too is just a little bit, it's not dropping like every other year. Even these years kind of dropped, these years kind of dropped, these years dropped quite a bit. So there are more homes coming on the market than are selling. I think that's what this indicates. And is that reason to panic? No, because we need that. We've needed that for a very long time. So again, it's not going crazy, but it's a little different. So it's something to watch. Pending listing count up 14%. So these are homes that are selling under contract. That's up from the last few years. So that means more homes are actually under contract to sell. But nothing abnormal there. Still like slightly more than previous years. Definitely less than the crazy years of 2020 and 2021 when everyone decided to buy houses, which was weird after COVID. But still pretty similar to what's going on before. Newly listed homes. So this might be something too to watch where it's like, oh my God, people are freaking out. They're finally deciding they have to sell. They have to liquidate, whatever. So if this was shooting up, that might be something to watch too, but it's not. In fact, it dropped significantly just like every other year. You can see these trends very similar. No abnormalities, no outliers. Nothing much to see there. We might see this shoot up if rates drop because a lot of people will be listing their houses because they've been waiting, but then you'll probably also see pending go up. So if we do see rates drop, we might see some abnormalities in this chart, but it might just mean more activity and more stuff happening, not like a crash or anything crazy happening. We'll skip the regional stuff. Days on market. This is one that helps us decide if the market's really stagnant. During the crash, it was like 9-12 months or something for days on market. We're at 62 days. So I know people say, oh my God, days on market are twice as high as last year. Or not last year, but 2021. And it's not. It was 45 days then, 62 now. And that was the craziest, most competitive market we've kind of ever seen. And we're slightly above the last few years, but still below a normal market pretty much. Still below a normal market. So nothing to freak out like with that. And then let's see, hopefully I'm hoping they have price cuts, because that's when you always hear about, oh my God, there's so many price cuts, everything's crashing. Well, we can see. But median listing price is a good indication of what prices are, and it's down 0.7%. 0.7. So again, nothing crazy. It's higher than 2022, just a little bit lower than 2023. And again, like I said, very stagnant market, so stagnant. Just not much is happening because rates are so high and people are just waiting. I think if people thought that rates would stay high forever, like if they thought this is what the new normal is, rates are going to be this high, we'd probably have a ton more activity. People would be listing houses, people would be buying houses. We'd see a lot more activity. The thing is, for a year or longer now, maybe even 2 years, people have thought rates are going to drop. They're just waiting for that drop, and it's not been happening. So because they're waiting, not much is happening. So we'll see what happens. I've talked about inflation before. I think it's ridiculous that they're keeping rates so high, and the Fed thinks they should have so much control over the market. High rates make inflation higher, especially in housing. If you look at how they calculate CPI, like 30% or more of it is from housing. And it's this weird housing index thing they use, owner's equivalent of rent, where they ask owners, if you were to rent your house, what do you think it would rent for? And that's basically based on house payments. So their way they calculate housing inflation is basically what your house payments are going to be, what your rent would be, and most people are thinking, well, I want to rent it enough to cover my house payments, right? And so if their house payments go up significantly, then their owner's equivalent of rent goes up significantly. If interest rates are higher, that means your payments are higher, your owner's equivalent rent is higher. So basically, when they keep rates high and when they raise rates, they're raising the cost of housing, right? They make housing more unaffordable. They're raising the cost of housing. If they raise the cost of housing, that raises inflation. And then they say, oh, inflation's too high. We can't lower rates. And it's like, you guys kind of caused inflation, at least the way you calculate it, by raising rates. I know a lot of people disagree with me, but in housing, you cannot argue that the way they calculate CPI, with housing being such a big factor, and the fact that interest rates raise your housing payments and costs, that raising rates raises inflation as far as how they calculate it. So, I don't know. They've thought about that. It doesn't seem like they have, but that's my little tangent. Okay, sorry. Here's the price reduced share. Down 1.3%. It's down. So, all those people saying, oh, price reductions are up. Everybody's lowering their price. There's prices cut everywhere. Well, there it is. Less price drops than 2023. Less price drops than 2022. Fewer. That's the word I should be using, right? Fewer price drops than 2017. There were fewer price drops in 2019. Fewer price drops in 2020. Fewer price drops in 2021. So nothing crazy or abnormal there at all. In fact, there's fewer price drops than many of these years. It's kind of right in the middle. So whenever you hear, oh, everybody's dropping their price, the market's crashing, no. Look at the data. Look at this data. That'll kind of show you what you want to see. Not what you want to see, but what the real data is. All right, we won't go through all of that either. So what about my properties and my housing? We listed a few flips in the last 2 weeks. One went under contract the first day. One, we've had a few showings we might get an offer on. It's been a week or two. We had some other properties that have been for sale longer than I like. We've got a condo that's been for sale forever. I should probably do a video on that and what happened with it. We just got an offer on it. It's under contract. So that's good to see. I mentioned a family member has a house for sale. They've had it for sale. It's an investment property. Those are kind of hard to sell right now, income property. It went under contract in the last week after being for sale for months and months. Nikki's got a house under contract that's been for sale for a while. Another member of my team got houses under contract. So what I'm kind of trying to tell you here, let's go back to our median listing price to give you an idea of what normally happens every year. This is January right here. Prices tend to go up all the way up to June, July, every year. Look at this. Every year without delay, except for 2020, which was weird. They just kept going up. Then they start to decline. If prices are going up in January, February, that usually means you're getting more houses under contract in December, maybe even November. And a lot of people think you can't sell houses in the holidays, you can't sell houses in December. It's actually a good month to sell houses in. It might seem like a crazy idea, but a lot of people have a ton of time off. They've got time to go look at houses. They've got time to think about these things. They can go see properties. And they know they're not like, you probably don't want to buy a house in October and close on December 24th. Although someone is literally doing that this week, or they closed December 23rd from our office, when an office deal. You want to buy in December and close in January when everything's calmed down, holidays are over, all of that. This is actually a really good time to list houses because if we look up here, at our new property count, new listings, nobody else is listing houses. Look at this. Everybody stops listing houses in November and December, and people are still buying. So it's actually a really good time if you're a seller to sell houses right now. Now, an awful time it's tricky. Now, this is not foolproof, but if we go to median list price again, prices start to go down here. That's usually because, well, everybody lists their house in the spring, right? Everybody says, oh, the best time to sell and buy or sell a house in the spring. Weather's warm, etc. Well, if everybody thinks that and all these properties are coming on the market, you've got a lot of competition. It might not be the best time to sell because everybody else is selling too. And you kind of see that where if you're listing in April, May, why are prices starting to drop at the end of summer? I think it's because so many people list in the spring. It's really not that great time to sell. Honestly, the best time to sell is kind of the start of the year when there's fewer properties, but there's people looking. This is when there's more properties and probably a good amount of people looking, but so many properties come on the market, it doesn't really help. And then it gets really bad around here. When school starts, awful time to sell. Awful. Every time we sell houses here, it takes forever. A lot of the houses we're selling now, getting under contract now, we actually listed in this time period here and are finally selling. So you want to try to kind of avoid this time to sell. This time is actually okay, despite what you hear. This time is great, and then it starts to get trickier over the summer. I know it's not what everybody says, but that's just my opinion based on lots of experience, lots of years selling properties, a lot of properties over that time period. So the data seems to kind of show that as well. If you look at the data and what's going on with the price reduced shares going on too, that also, look, every single year, that would also seem to indicate the market picks up. October, November, December. Look at that. December has like the lowest price reduced share of the year. That kind of means it's one of the best times to sell, at least in my opinion. And then you kind of see it shoot up. It's kind of weird how it shoots up, then back down again. Or no, sorry. Those lines need to match up. Where's 2024? Right here, okay. And we match that up with 2023, which is pink right here. So, it does shoot up quite a bit there. It'd be nice to kind of see that. There's a pretty significant increase, it looks like, almost every year from those dates. But that's my opinion. That's what I think as far as the market. Don't think anything's crashing. Don't think anything's going crazy. It's probably actually a pretty good time to sell right now. Still looking for good deals. Haven't seen a lot of good deals lately. So if you know of any in Colorado, let me know. We are buying a business, and that'll be interesting, but not as many houses. So that's my market analysis. That's what I think is happening right now. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you think I'm crazy. That's fine too. And we'll be back with more videos on our flips, rentals, businesses, all that coming up.